From New Jersey, Mr. Garrett's recognized 5 minutes.
And I thank the chairman. I thank Chairman Frank for working with me during the last few months on this and helping to schedule today's hearing. Also like to thank Chairman Kanjorski and Ranking Member Baucus for their continued support and hard work on this important issue. I thank the opening comments from Bill over there as well as the legislation moves along. And as it does, you know, the U.S. continues to recover from the financial crisis, as you referenced, over the last year. And so it is essential that Congress examines new and innovative ways to basically unthaw or unlock the credit markets and encourage private capital to confidently re-engage by turning cash now on the sidelines into active investments in our country's future. And one of those innovative ways that I believe could provide that additional liquidity to our credit markets is by establishing covered bonds marketplace here in the U.S. Covered bonds are simply debt instruments issued by financial institutions and backed, or covered if you will, by a pool of high-quality loans. Covered bonds are kept on the balance sheet of the issuing institution, which is important, and investors have a dual recourse to both the assets used as collaterals as well as the underlying institution. Covered bonds have been used, as I said, in Europe for hundreds of years to help provide additional funding options for the issuing institutions, and they're a major source of liquidity for many European nations' mortgage markets. Covered bonds have performed extremely well during the financial crisis, largely because of the high underwriting standards used for the loans in the covered pools. And so I do believe that a robust U.S. covered bond market would offer numerous benefits to investors and consumers and the broader financial sector. Investors would benefit by having a new, safe, innovative vehicle which would allow for more diversification in their portfolio. Consumers would stand to benefit greatly by the increase in liquidity to their credit markets. There will be more funding available for loans and thus lower rates for home mortgages, auto and student loans, and for small businesses. You know, one of the problems that we experience during our current crisis is the difficulty of modifying mortgage loans because of the ownership of those loans have been transferred out through the securitization process. Not here. This is not a problem with covered bonds because they are held and serviced by the lender. The lending institution thus has a greater ability to modify consumer mortgage loans, which will benefit the consumer. And finally, the broader financial markets will stand to benefit from a covered bond market. Covered bonds provide an additional, low-cost, diverse funding tool for financial institutions. They will ensure more stable and longer-term liquidity in the credit markets, which reduces refinancing risk as well as exposure to sudden changes in interest rates and investor confidence as well. And they also allow U.S. financial institutions to compete more effectively, I believe, against their global peers. Now, to date, there have only been two issuances of covered bonds here in the U.S. That was by B of A and Washington Mutual, which is now part of J.P. Morgan. But over the last several months, however, there's been tremendous increase in demand by investors for these bonds. In 1 week in September alone, there were 7 new issuances in a variety of different European countries, and that totaled over $20 billion. And for the year to date, there has been a total of around $120 billion of covered bond issued in Europe alone. Also, the European covered bond market was one of the first markets to rebound when the financial panic ebbed, and I think that's important. And so that is why, during this committee's consideration of the Financial Stability Improvement Act, I offered an amendment that would create a detailed statutory framework to help facilitate the broader use of these funding instruments in the U.S. A detailed statutory framework is common in the European countries where these bonds basically flourish, and is indeed in this country to provide the investors what they're looking for, and that is greater certainty in regards to their exact recourse if the issuing institution fails. This legislation will spell out the variety of different asset classes which will be eligible to be included in the covered bonds. In Europe, the covered bond market is very narrowly tailored to just residential mortgage. However, in ours, we'd include a wider array of asset classes like commercial mortgages, as well as auto loans, small business loans, and public sector loans. And so we will be working there to increase liquidity to a broader consumer base and allow financial institutions to further spread their risk. So finally, this legislation also designates the Secretary of the Treasury as a covered bond regulator, because the Department of the Treasury, basically they have the unique knowledge I think they need and expertise in this area of the U.S. debt market, which is needed here. And it also details the procedure that are to be followed in the case that an issuer of a covered bond were they to fail or default, also all needed. So a U.S. covered bond market offers a wide variety of possible benefits to investors, to consumers, and our capital markets as a whole. So at a time when our credit markets are still experiencing a great deal of difficulty and our financial institutions are slow to reopen or to broader basis to our American public, we must consider these new and innovative methods. And so I'm pleased that this committee is taking a closer look into this unique funding, and I'm pleased that the chairman and the ranking member have been working with us to move this matter along. So thank you, Mr. Chairman, and I yield back.